Looks like I have to fix two videos. My first video was I thought I cannot plug in a average temperature of 270 degree JB Weld quick weld with the JB Weld whatchamacallit dispenser, both of which total $7, and you can use 1/20th of it to fix your threaded holes by squeezing the JB Weld, which it self-mixes, that little thread self-mixer gizmo, into the little 5mm bolt hole, and then shortly thereafter put in the bolt, wait 10 minutes because there's no air, it'll take longer than 5 or 6 minutes to dry, extract the bolt if you're lucky, if you're not it'll be stuck in there forever, and then of course wait 5 hours for the thing to cure. I thought I was wrong. I had a video about how that would melt the JB Weld because I thought it was screwing into the exhaust manifold or whatever, but it's not the big exhaust pipe that you see on the bottom. It's the intake manifold supposedly. And if that's the case, that thing is only about 200 degrees. I think it's very hard to discern that temperature on YouTube, or retard Google. Google. No one ever says what the temperature of it is. Very simple question, but no. I think from what I've put together, although no one ever answers that one question, apparently, that it is like 200 degrees or less, and that thing, the JB Weld will hold. Ergo. It is a stronger thread maker by squeezing that fluid into the hole, not too much. Make sure the bolt was smaller than the hole, so some will come out when you screw in the bolt, and then wait 10 minutes and then screw out the bolt. Because that way you won't, wreck the hole by pressure, by fluid, what is then JB Weld fluid pressure. And hand tighten it, wait 10 minutes or 9 minutes, whatever your intuition tells you, which will be needed. Too long, it will be stuck there forever. Too short, the threads will mesh themselves when you unscrew it. Has to be firm, but not completely hardened or anything. So it's tricky. It's a tricky one. But I heard 10 minutes works from somebody. And then you take the bolt out, and then it should work. My other video said all these things about how when the bolt threads come out on all 8 of your bolts, if you do all 8 at once, then hold on. I'm talking about something kind of grim, and then the ambulance goes by. That's not good, man. I'll let this normal car go by first, this ordinary car go by first. Okay, as for the bad news, if you do it wrong, all the bolts will come out. Your car will crash on the freeway. Hundreds of people will be killed, including yourself, and your mechanical career will be ruined. One of the people killed, their kid, would have saved the world from a nuclear war, which will affect the weather patterns, destroy the biosphere of the world, delay the world from their progress before in the soon-to-be coming intergalactic. Look at this Spanish job over here. In the soon-to-be intergalactic communications, those things that will put I don't know, what do you want to call it? It will screw up the rhythm of that, and so things that could have been worked out won't be anymore, and thus it will be responsible for my mechanical calculations 1/3 to 2/5 of the Milky Way galaxy. That would have happened if you put. So I thought if you put the JB quick weld in these threads, because I thought the temperature of the big exhaust gizmo, of course, is like 1,000 degrees and it would melt them, and then that calamity would have happened. So I said, don't do that. Use Loctite Forma Weld, which is $30. It doesn't seem to be at stores. It only works supposedly half the time because it dries too quickly and stuff. Although it worked for me. I did it 50,000 miles ago. It worked that long. But so I recommend everyone don't use JB quick weld. Use the Loctite so that you don't destroy 1/3 of the Milky Way galaxy. And now I just realized my video was wrong because these screws are not going into that big exhaust thing. They're going into the intake manifold, which is the air that's not that hot. That's the air that comes through the blah blah, through the MAF sensor, through that big fat tube, through the torque converter, throttle body, and then through that big hole in the bottom of the throttle body through the intake manifold before it goes to the engine. Although the engine's hot, it's making that thing hot. Although this is like a plastic part, I think, where the screw holes are, which I guess is in a place where the heat doesn't transfer up there too much. So I think they're at like 200 degrees, and it will not melt JB Weld. In which case, JB Quick is the better option, and I was wrong. And if you had listened to that last video, you will destroy. Oh, my headlights were on. You will destroy likely the entire planet and 2/3 of the Milky Way galaxy in my calculations, unless. What an idiot. Unless I'm wrong this time, and you do have to use that Loctite Forma thread, in which case, now, if you listen to this video, you will be mass destruction. So it's very hard to say. It all depends on how hot the screw threads get on the plastic or metal pieces on the air intake, whatchamacallit, on top of a Ford Crown Victoria. That's the car I'm talking about, by the way, which I think is like 200 degrees, so I think your JB Quick Weld will not melt, and you will have saved the planet for 50 stinking cents. Although, unfortunately, speaking of 50 stinking cents, it appears with the uncertainty and the lack of anyone on Google and YouTube to say how hot those threads get, it is a 50% chance either way. Sad thing. In this retard world, well, retarded people I find smart and pleasant. In this stupid world, you will have to use the force to find out which one's better. I'm starting to think it's JB Weld again. Okay, that's the end of this video. Now I have to fix another screwed up video.